Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Xinfin Network, aka XDC. And I warned you guys over on Twitter, this video is going to be a little bit longer. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive in. So we seen, of course, the Electronic Trade Documents Act go live yesterday. Was it big? Well, if you are sitting here and you're looking at the price, no, which of course I told you guys yesterday that it wasn't going to be a price driver, and it wasn't going to be, right? We know that this wasn't going to be a big price driver. These events are crucial to keep up with, considering the fact that they are showing us the future that we are heading into, which is, of course, digital, right? And there's technology here that is disrupting significant pieces of the world. And, this is a big one, right? So we do see boom. This time it actually is needed because this is a big announcement. Lloyds Bank completed the first transaction under the new ETDA, Electronic Trade Documents Bill, that was passed back in the summer. Today is the official go live date, which of course was the 20th, for this act/bill to come into effect. This is great news for Xinfin and XDC. They have been a driver behind the digitalization and tokenization of trade finance in order to close the $2.5 trillion gap. Now, with that in mind, this is the announcement from Trade Finance Global about Lloyds Bank completing what it believes to be the first transaction under the UK's new Electronic Trade Documents Act, which came into force today, September 20th. Now, this is a big one, right? But I want you all to understand that this is all a part of the same exact group. What do I mean by that? Well, when we look at this post from Andre Kasserman back, it's 2 months ago, he was talking about the DNI. So the DNI Initiative is the driver behind a lot of this. And we even do see here, Lloyds Banking Group is at the forefront of MLETR implementation as demonstrated since mid-2022. And here you have Gwen Master. She is talking a little bit about how HM King Charles III gave royal assent to the Electronic Trade Documents Act, the most important bill you have never heard of. That's the quote. And certainly the most important piece of trade legislation passed in the UK for many years. This represents a huge opportunity in the UK to remove paper documentation from trade transactions, increase efficiency, and to drastically reduce end-to-end transaction times and cost for our clients, which again, this is why I say this bill is huge. And we do see at Lloyds Bank, we understand the power of trade digitalization, and have pioneered the utilization of key digital documents with our groundbreaking contractual law digital promissory note transactions. Piloted a year ago and now embedded into our product offering. We look forward to collaborating with the industry and our clients to deliver digital documents under the Act and ramp up trade digitization once the Act comes into force in 2 months' time. So now they are ramping it up. And well, guess what? We've seen that with this big announcement from the 20th. Now, outside of this, the thing to focus on is the DNI. And we're going to get into that here in a second. But first, this was not the only announcement that we seen yesterday. There's many, but this is also another one that I do want to bring up, which is Sibos 2023. HSBC launches new virtual card and digital trade finance solution. Now, mind you, this is a huge announcement because guess what? Things are now changing around trade finance, and I do think that this bill really kind of started to accelerate this. I'm very excited about this. And remember, the reason why we should focus on HSBC and a few of these players is because, well, guess what? They are members of the ITFA. If you go over to the ITFA's website and you go to banks and you scroll down a little bit, you could find HSBC Group Management Services Limited right there on their website. And this is one of many major banks tied to the ITFA for fact, like we have JP Morgan here. I'm pretty sure Citi's on here as well. Or at least I thought they were. I can't find them here, but I know that they have a ton of big, or Citi's right here. Sorry, I was missing it. They have a huge huge list of heavy hitters from the financial space. Again, it's like some of the most major banks out there. Then they have brokers. I mean, the list goes on. And the reason why the ITFA is so damn important is because, listen, they went and created this massive group to really kind of streamline digitalization and innovation within the trade finance space as well. And they chose Xinfin. If we go all the way back, right, here we have Xinfin's XDC network, the first blockchain company to join the global TFDI. And this was a big one. This was a huge announcement, which I bring up today all the time because we know that the TFDI is a big initiative as well. Some of the largest leaders out there, and it's all created to fill the $3 to $5 trillion SME trade finance gap. And even if we scroll down to the bottom here, we can actually see that we welcome Xinfin's XDC network to the TFDI, as this enables us to bridge the $19 trillion trade finance asset class with any type of funder through tokenization and digital assets. It's extremely exciting. Extremely exciting. And also, like I've said, with the DNI is the big one to focus on. When we go over to the Lloyds Bank announcement, right? This is the one that I just quoted. When we go over to the actual website and we scroll down, so this is from Trade Finance Global. They're the media platform around trade finance and everything trade finance. So if we scroll all the way down here, we could see a few things around this. So the ETDA gives electronic bills of exchange, bills of lading, and other commercial documents the same legal footing as paper documents. The legislation is designed to give UK businesses and participants in the 60 to 80% of trade transactions worldwide that are subject to English law more flexibility in how they trade. The act will also significantly reduce the environmental impact that paper documentation has, while reducing the cost and time taken to conclude international trade transactions. So this is big. Now, let's focus on the technology here, because we have a few quotes. And Inigio seems like the big one behind this. So first off, let's look at Lloyds Bank. This new legislation is a turning point for a cheaper, faster, and more sustainable global trading system. At the forefront of this is a few players that are all tied to these organizations. And remember, right, we're not talking about competition here. We're talking about collaboration. When we scroll down to what Inigio says, we do see this historical landmark transaction evidences a new era of trade and trade finance where legislation and technology now truly work hand in hand. And we are delighted that our Trace Original solution, the Trace Original solution is the key here, by the way, has been at the heart of it. Unlike other digital trade solutions that require all parties to subscribe to digital platforms, Trace Original only requires the party creating the document to be an Inigio user, directly or by proxy, therefore making it easier for businesses to make the switch to digital. This is big. Now, when we look at this, right, they break down the Inigio Trace Original solution, but at the bottom there, it's crucial to know. Earlier this year, in February, Lloyds Bank also shared its learnings and experience in electronic payment undertakings, EPUs, under the Digital Negotiable Instrument Initiative, the DNI, to help fintech group Mercor complete the UK's first digital bill of exchange transaction, which was also executed through Trace Original. Mind you, they are utilizing and tapping in to the DNI. The DNI is a big one because as we look into the DNI, and by the way, Lloyds Bank announced that it invested $3 million into Inigio to help expand and accelerate the use of digital documentation and trade. But when we look at the DNI, all right, first off, here's the first announcement that we got back in August of last year, where we seen that the DNI was a crucial piece for the UK's first digital promissory note purchase that Lloyds Bank did as well. They were at the forefront of this, and they were pioneering the DNI's technology stack. And when we look at what they've said down here in terms of leading innovation, they also note the ITFA and how they have been behind the DNI for a while. They've been supporting this. The DNI is, the best way that I could describe it is just the tech stack behind a lot of this. Of course, yes, it is an initiative. So it's a group of individuals that are tied to this. And this is why I say that collaboration is crucial in this space. We have to stop looking at everything as competition. If we scroll down to the ITFAs talking about the DNI here, so we do see the need for more and better technology has never been clearer. The fragility of supply chains, SME finance, and world trade has never been more exposed, which is why, as an association, we continue to foster improved market practices and regulatory developments. The technological ingredients are of paramount importance as we experience in our daily lives. Now, like I said, I look at it as a tech stack. Of course, there's players tied to it. Those players are key pieces around all of this. We do see here from the chair of the ITFA, as an association that began in the forfeiting markets of the 1990s, right? But has since expanded its scope to cover a wide variety of forms of origination and risk distribution, and which more recently has joined forces with the best of the new technology or the new financial technology companies. We are well placed to understand what the market requires and how to bring it about. What are they talking about? Well, here we have the aim of the DNI initiative is to fully digitize bills of exchange and promissory notes. In order to achieve this, we identified the need to combine advanced document technology with electronic signatures and DLT whilst developing the appropriate contractual schemes and, where needed, lobby to change the law. Now, down here, we have a few quotes. We have Andre Casterman talking a little bit about this. We have Sean continuing his discussion as well. But the secret sauce around a lot of this is going to be DLT. And by the way, you could see some of the ITFA members here. These are the DNI. These are all the players tied to the DNI. Now, on here, you don't see Xinfin. But if we actually go over here to the ITFA FinTech joining forces to digitize negotiable instruments using advanced document technology. This is from April of 2020. Here's Andre Casterman. And here we have the DNI initiative. These are the players tied to this, and you can see their specific use case. So digital signatures at the top, sales finance platforms. Inigio is the original document technology, but then we have the core TF technologies, which is Finastra and China Systems. Then document processing solutions with TradeStream and Naboo. And then we also have tokenization infrastructure, Xinfin with XDC. The advisors are at the bottom there. XDC is the tokenization infrastructure here. Over here, we also have a little bit of an insight on the DNI and the TFDI. This is from the ITFA. The single largest fintech community in global trade and supply chain financing to scale trade origination and distribution, thereby contributing to financial inclusion and closing the multi-trillion-dollar trade finance gap. Two collaborative communities. And you see that that's highlighted. Collaborative, not competition. Supporting strategic market ambitions. DNI. Here you have what they are doing. Advocate for MLETR around the world, deliver a contract-based solution, EPU, develop a Web3-based interoperability framework, DDoC, to achieve MLETR in banking and logistics, to scale SME financing and use of interoperable digital trade solutions compliant with MLETR. Then, of course, they do have the TFDI over there. Again, all of this is to scale. Scale and also allow access to this platform in an interoperable way. And down there, you also do see the 3 expert working groups providing guidance on emerging market practices. They do mention them. Then over here, we do have when Xinfin officially got added to the DNI. I believe that this was late 2019, early 2020. I might be wrong, but this is where we did see XDC network at it. And with 12 institutions as well. Look at all of the players that are tied to this. Like, these are huge names, right? And then you have XDC Network, which in my opinion confirms how big of a player Xinfin really is. And then also, as we do see up here, they talk a little bit about the integration of Inigio. They talk about the demand as well. We do see we are now concentrating on the demand side, i.e. helping corporates and trade digitization platforms discover the benefits of digital trade instruments, focusing primarily on bills of exchange, promissory notes, and guarantees. And, that was a while back. Well, now things are just put into hyperdrive because with this with this Electronic Trade Documents Act going live, everything is going to accelerate. And I'm very, very excited about this because, like I said, when you go over here to the DNI initiative and we scroll down, first and foremost, here's 1 week ago. Terrific event last night organized by French finance government featuring key stakeholders active in digital trade. What this is doing is, there you guys have it, accelerating the international trade finance digitization. This is big. Everything is accelerating. This is why I say, like, this event, I put boom in the beginning of this, right? Because we see people put boom in nonsense now for clicks. I put boom in front of this because guess what? This is the start. This is the beginning of what we need. And this is accelerating the push on a global scale towards a digitized trade financial system. This is big. Now, also from the DNI, if we scroll down, right, it's just a few scrolls down. Here you have a new updated view of the DNI. And we can also see what they are trying to do. Discover those who will enlighten your full day experience, sharing MLETR. We see the 3 keynote speakers. I've talked a little bit about this back, like it's 3 months ago now. This was back in July. You could see some of the players here. So again, the keynote speakers, the DDoC, compliant tech, originators as well. But then over here, you see some of the players tied to this. So here are some of the key speakers. We also see putting DLT to work in trade finance. Like I said, Andre Kasserman is the key puzzle piece here, raising client satisfaction with DNIs, preparing for the new act. Then over here as well, you have Lloyds Bank, Mercor, Trade River, Trade Finance Global. Here's the DDoC compliant technology providers. You have SureComp there, Anigio, China Systems. And then over here, we have more technology providers. Again, just more players. All of these individuals are key around the adoption of these new digitized platforms and systems and technology stacks. I'm very excited about this. And again, you can see all of the names tied to this. And of course, there you guys have XDC network over there. And look at the names on this document. And then you have XDC, a token and a project that nobody even cares about in this space. This is why I say it's so crucial to make sure that you are aware of what is going on. And it's also why I say, like, you know, although you want to sit here and say like some of these big events don't mean nothing because it's not driving the price, they're huge on a global scale. They're huge. And like I've said, you need to pay attention to the ITFA because, you know, Xinfin, they already connected their system. They've already connected the dots. They've built networks of connections back to some of the largest organizations. And the ITFA is no joke. When you go to the About section of the ITFA, you need to read this because they have over 300 members. They've been, you know, working since the 1990s, located in over 50 different countries. They're bringing together banks and financial institutions who are engaged in originating and distributing trade-related risk and finding creative ways to mitigate the risk. This is why I say like DLT and blockchain has become a crucial piece of the puzzle. And they are working with some of the largest names out there. Like I've said, I already went over it. And they continue to expand their overall view, and you know, them combined with the DNI, them combined with all of these other organizations, things are moving faster than we ever thought imaginable. And remember what I said about trade finance, right? Like it all begins in trade finance. Like trade finance has become the starting point to truly adopt DLT and blockchain and realize the value behind this technology. And guess what? All it really takes is one market to realize that, or industry, if you will, and then every other one will follow through. Things are starting to get very interesting because now we are starting to see the standardization bills and, you know, these acts come into place. And the next thing is also regulation, right? Like we're so close to the days where utility actually matters. And that's not me trying to sell you guys a used car. Like, no, like I'm literally telling you, like, going over a lot of these documents, going over, you know, things that we have seen, the events behind these big standards and these big updates, like everything is coming together at such a crucial time where I don't think that enough people are focused on the big picture here. Like focusing on XDC for me was very easy initially because when we were looking into XRP, when we were looking into XLM, HBAR, and all these other tokens, like XDC was barely talked about because, like, try to talk to somebody about trade finance. They'll be like, who cares? Because it's not a lucrative market. It's not a, you know, it's not like hey, we're talking about cross-border payments. It's a $156 trillion market. All of a sudden, people are very interested. Then you talk about trade finance, and they're like, oh, whatever. Because they don't really know about trade finance, or at least the typical individual doesn't. I mean, granted, the typical individual probably doesn't even know about cross-border payments, but as we look at this space, things are getting very interesting, and I'm very excited about this. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If this is on Twitter, reply down below what you guys think about this. It's very exciting. And with that being said, if you guys did enjoy the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Peace out.